Morning.
Well, now that Bentinho is in the seminary, Capitu and Dona Gloria's intimacy grew stronger. She was constant presence in the house, and they spent a lot of time together. And after this, Dona Gloria got sick. She got ill with a fever, and Capitu nursed her. Cousin Justina was kind of upset because of her presence at home, but anyway, it was convenient for her that Capitu was nursing Dona Gloria. One morning, she woke up very confused and troubled, and fearful of what might happen to her, she decided to fetch Bentinho from the seminary home. And José Dias was in charge of the task. He went to the seminary, talked to the superior, and brought Bentinho home. On their way home, Bentinho was very terrified because he didn't know exactly what had happened to his mother. And because of José Dias' silence, he got even more terrified. And he had a sudden thought. The thought was, if his mother died, that would be the end of the seminary. Okay, that would be the end of the seminary. But that sudden thought led him to remorse, because how could he think about that situation with his mother probably dying? And he got even more terrified, and he had an outburst of tears, and José Dias tried to calm him down by saying that his mother the case was very serious, but it was not fatal. Okay, then he got home, talked to his mother, and Capitu saw him, and she was very pleased to see him there, doing what he was doing with his mother. And then he promised God to pray 1,000 Pater Nosters to have his mother recovered and to forgive of his sin. Okay, so he thought that the remorse was a sin. Okay.
Okay. Let me just explain one thing first. Okay. We decided to create exclusive soundtrack for the book. So every time a person explains a small piece, we're going to play a song. It's not a new song. They are not new songs. And I hope you recognize some of them because they are really famous, okay? So, now that Luciano ended. On down the streets with my heart in pain, I talk to the stars and to the moonlight. I thought about my mother's death, that remorse right there. I hope the Lord will judge me for what I need. As I said, it's just a small piece, okay? Next.
So Bentinho was regretting and think then he would like to see his mother fall in death, because he don't need to go at the seminary anymore, and he wants to go quickly at the church to ask forgiveness, and he go to the church very quickly and leave José Dias behind, because he thinks it's very important to ask the forgiveness, and he stay alone at the church, and he stay at the church until the end of the mass.
This is it? Okay, Lucas? Standing in line to praise the Lord tonight, and there's a light on, and heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'll be there, and waiting for, standing in line to praise the Lord tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I'll try to say I'll be there, and waiting for.
decided to leave, so he followed the crowd. And outside the church, he met Miss Sancha and her father. And they wanted to know how was his mother. And he said that she was okay now, at the moment. And they walked home together because they were going by the same way. And when they arrived near Gurgel's house, he invited Bentinho to have lunch with them. But Bentinho said that his mother was waiting him to have lunch with her. So, but he said that he wouldn't stay. But actually, he didn't want to stay there. He just said that. And when he arrived, but he didn't have lunch. But he stayed for a little just to rest. And then Gurgel started to ask some questions about him. How old he was, how was his studies, and so on. And at the same day, in the afternoon, at home, when Bentinho was already at home, Escobar came to visit him, and that was the first time that he went there. And he went to know how his mother was. And everybody liked him. He was handsome and intelligent, nice person, so no one had a thing to tell against him. And then Escobar decides to go away, to leave the house. And Bentinho took him to the street, and they started to talk in a very kindful way. And Capitulos was spying them behind a closed window, so she listened to all the conversation. And when Escobar had already left, she opened the window and asked Bentinho about who was that great friend of him. And he said that was Escobar.
Okay, the next song is also performed by Bentinho, and it's very deep, okay? Please don't laugh. Once again. So maybe you're wondering who will be there to take my place when I'm home. Miss you went alone to call the attention to my fate.
Well, after Capitu talked to Bentinho asking who was that man, and he said it was Escobar, a man passed by riding a horse. He was a very handsome man. He was wearing very nice clothes, and he was standing very proper. And other men passed in horses too, and other would still pass later. Because it was that time, it was very common of men to ride horses and go to their girlfriend's house to date. But that man was different. Bentinho felt something about that man, and he thought that his face looked familiar. He thought he was familiar to him. And also, he realized that the man passed by, and after he passed, he turned his head back and stared at Capitu. And Capitu stared at him too, and he felt for the second time very, very jealous. So he didn't say anything anymore to Capitu and just left. He went home running, very angry. And when he came home, he saw José Dias talking, and he wanted to confront him and ask him about what he had said before. What he had said before at the seminary was true about Capitu wanting to marry someone and dating other guys. But instead, when José Dias asked what was wrong with him because of his looks, he just he didn't say anything, and he diverted his attention to his pants, and he ran away.
Okay? So, here you go. That's why I'm going to her house right now to tell her all about my love and now she's waiting at the window after all. I wrote my words in America. That's why I'm going to her house right now to tell her all about my love and now she's waiting at the window after all. I wrote my words in America.
Well, it's the chapter 5. Bento comes home desperate. Look yourself in your room and feel like killing capitulo. He gets the way because it's very jealous. In the chapter 76, Bento comes down, but he sleeps badly and is reconciliated with capitulo. Capitulo confesses to have nothing to the rider, and he promises not to go to the window again. And Bento says that it's not your desire. It can't keep going to the window.
Okay? Okay, this next song. It will be very hard for me not to laugh, okay? So,
All of us.
try to focus
All of
with
us.
me, okay? Introduction first. You know I fell in love, I'm telling everybody. I don't even care about the things they say. My love is not the kind that hurts if you don't give up. I face the world to have you in my hands. Yeah, you know I fell in love, I'm telling everything, and I don't even care about the things they say. My love is not the kind that hurts if you don't give up. I face the world to have you in my hands. Okay.
Did not laugh.
Is it my time? My turn? Okay, I'm going to talk about chapter 77. This is the moment when Dom Casmurro thinks about his teenage, I don't know how to call that, a teenage love crisis he had, thinking about the girl at the window and everything. But now looking back in time, he finds some sort of pleasure looking that, because maybe the pain is diluted in the time, and now he feels the innocence he had at that time, and now it feels good for him some way, somehow. Chapter 78 is when they are already back to the seminary, and Bentinho and Escobar, they decide to share secrets. And then Bentinho tells Escobar that he's not going to become a father, a priest, a padre, I don't know, wherever he's. So Bentinho is not going to become none of those titles, and he confesses to Escobar that in fact he's in love with capitulo and he's leaving the seminary anyway. And Escobar also decides to tell him that he is also in love with some other thing. I think he wants to be a merchant, and he tells it to Bentinho. And they decide that none of them will become a priest, a father, or a padre. So, the next song
It's another
will be even harder, okay? Yeah, things are getting worse and worse. Let me focus first, okay? Never let you go.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to focus. So, on the next 2 chapters, he dedicates the next 2 chapters to his thoughts. Yeah, there's nothing important there. Just he starts thinking, yeah, how lovely his mother is. Yeah, despite the fact that she obliged him to go to the seminary. Yeah, and he starts thinking how his life would be different if his father had lived. Yeah, as he had a vocation for politics, so he thinks that he would probably be how can we say this? Forgot. Pushed to that direction. Yeah, and the other thoughts. It's not relevant.
You can't wait for the next song. This is not so deep like the others. It's fun. Oh, where can Beijing be? The Lord took him away from me. He's in the seminary and that won't be good. But I will see Beijing when he's back home. Where can Benjamin be? The Lord took him away from me. He's in the seminary and that won't be good. But I will see him when he's back to his home. In every breath he... No,
Next one, how it's been. The next 2 chapters, Bentinho continues with his thoughts, and he thought about something that his mother said, and he starts to understand that something. In this chapter, he discovered that Sancha it's very ill too, and in the middle of the conversation, he discovered that capitulos is at the Sancha's house, and she didn't back to her house. Then cousin Justina kind of insinuates something that now she's flirting someone. Then he starts to think about. He gets so angry. He starts to think how he could kill her. Then he thinks about lots of ways. Then he goes at the Sancha's house, and he finds her father, and he's kind of worried about because Sancha is very ill. And
be fast because I can't wait to sing the next one.
The next one is the best one. I heard.
Then he finds capitulos there, and they start to talk, but they talk little, it's like whispering. No one's here. He said that the only thing could hurt them is the sofa. Oh, that's it.
That's it? Okay, finally.
Okay, go.
Now the best song.
Classic. The best song.
You can feel it coming, right? Damn it, you know you're gonna kill me. Girl, if I catch you, oh girl, if I catch you, that's sweet and delicious, you know you're gonna kill me. Girl, if I catch you, oh girl, if I catch you.
Well, after that, in chapter 83, Bentinho started to realize how beautiful capitulos is, and Gurgel, that was in the home with them both, asked Bentinho if capitulo looks like the woman in the picture. Bentinho looked at the picture and he saw that the woman is Gurgel's wife. And Bentinho think about it and said, yes, she looks like. In chapter 84, they went out of the house. Bentinho started to walk in the street, and an old man, smelling bad, approached him, started to scream that his son died. His son died, his son was dead. And Bentinho said, who is your son? And the old man said, it's Manduca. Don't you want to go to the funeral? Sorry. And he said, yes, I will, but I don't want. And he thinks about Capitu and he wants to save her, but he's going to the funeral anyway.
Okay, Lucas, Fábio.
Pretty woman, walking down the street. Pretty woman, the kind I like to meet. Pretty woman, I don't believe you, it must be true. No one can look as good as you. Pretty woman.
It's our time. Okay, can I share with you? Okay. I'm going to explain the chapters 85 and 86. And I promise this time I'm not going to talk too much, I promise. I'll try. Actually, I don't have lots of things to say because my chapters are really short. So I'm just going to explain. Bentinho was not willing to go in the China shop, but he did because his neighbor was very sad about Manduca's death. And the China shop was very dark. Manduca's mother was in a corner crying rivers, totally sad, and didn't say any word. When Bentinho saw that body on the bed, he started feeling sick because he was not used to see strong things like that, and he was not ready to see that. So he decided to go out of the China shop, and he made an excuse to Manduca's father, saying that he needed to go because somebody was waiting for him at home. It was not true. But he went home, and when I forgot. And when he arrived there, he started thinking about that body, and he was so frightened that he decided to think about something that could make him forget that scene. And he finally could when he thought about Capitu. That was the only thing that could make him forget that horrible scene. That's it.
Okay, this is going to be the last song, so I really hope you enjoyed, okay? Well, I've just seen Capitu is standing like an angel queen. I couldn't flee.